It's late July. We're here on NC State's campus in front of a fig tree, and this is a popular spot this time of the year for students and faculty and staff visiting these trees. What makes a fig tree a suitable landscape plant?
Lee, there's several factors that would make a fig an ideal plant for the landscape, especially in eastern North Carolina. They are somewhat cold sensitive. However, they will crop consistently. If we can look at a shoot here that we've just pulled off, we have fruit in different stages of maturity from fruit that are just setting. You notice where the fruit form, they form at the axils of the leaves. That's where all the new fruit forms. So even if the plant starts out from the ground level in the spring of the year, we can still have fruit on the plant this year. The other things we've looked at, we looked at pecans and peaches and apples. Those fruit are all formed the previous season. So this makes it ideal for consistent cropping this year. The other thing about the fig plants is they are growing their own roots, which means that you can take a cutting, you can take that cutting, you can plant it in the ground, and you can have fruit that season. We can look out here and see different types of propagation that students will do or the homeowner can do. They can use some air layering. We can take cuttings. We took cuttings this past March, and we had plants growing by mid-May. So it's a very easy plant to propagate on your own. It has fruit consistently. For the most part, there is very little maintenance as far as pest and disease management. In fact, there's none. We don't have to spray for the figs for insects, diseases. They grow on their own. We don't have to worry about pollination. The type of figs that we would grow in North Carolina are common figs, those that do not require pollination and set fruit parthenocarpically.
So the different cultivars, I know there's some that can be grown. What cultivar is this, and what size might it be in the landscape?
A good question about cultivars, because there's a lot of confusion in the literature, and if we go to nurseries, again, as we said, we can only grow common figs. In North Carolina, the two common ones that I would be looking at would be Celeste, which this is. Celeste would be my ideal recommendation because it's a smaller fruit. It'll be about the size of a quarter. It is a higher flavored, higher sugar content, and they are more cold tolerant. So again, we can look at that, or we can talk about brown turkey. It's a larger one. There's some other ones that can be grown, Brunswick magnolia, but if I was going to be looking for the home landscape, Celeste and brown turkey would be the two that I would look at to start with.
Yeah, and you can eat these fruits, just straight off the plant. Some people put them in preserves, jellies, that kind of stuff. I think people think of a fig Newton or whatever, but right. I mean, any other ways you can think of that we might eat those?
No, again, as we've been talking about, I like fruit fresh off the tree, unadulterated. Right. However, if we look at figs, they have a very short shelf life once they've been picked, maybe 3 to 4 days at the most. So putting them into preserves would be an ideal way to preserve them, especially if you have a significant quantity of fruit.